Week 18, regular season is over after this week.
Find out who we picked to make the playoffs.
Teams trying to make the playoffs at a wild card spot. Some teams battling for the division.
All that, and find out why I'm wearing this Bills shirt on the Amy NFL show.
So, let's just start right away. The reason why Tony is wearing this Bills shirt.
Yes. 2 weeks in a row, I did not bet with my own team, the Steelers. I didn't think they were going to win each of their last 2 games, and they've won both of them. I do believe last week I said, if they win a second one, I will wear a Bills shirt.
Let's replay that clip.
And I'm doing it again this week. I'm taking the Seahawks to win at home. I'm not betting with the Steelers. I've seen that offense. This is not a great offense. I think the Seahawks will win in Seattle.
When are you going to learn to pick your own team?
I know. If you get a second week in a row of picking the Steelers over me, I don't know what I'll do. I'll wear Bills jersey or something. Okay, so it was a Bills jersey I said, but this is close enough. Maybe I'll bet with my own team this week. Before we get to that, though, let's see how we did in all of the games last week.
Saturday night, it was a good one. Cowboys against the Lions. The Cowboys won it in a close one. The Ravens demolished the Dolphins, and the Bills beat the Patriots. Tony still got the Atlanta Falcons wrong, as the Bears beat them.
I can't believe it. I bet against my gut, and my gut was finally right.
The AFC South team won in Texans-Titans, the Texans. And then the Jags and the Colts both beat the Raiders and the Panthers. The Rams squeaked it out in a close one against the Giants. And then we both got the Saints-Bucs game and the Cardinals-Eagles game wrong. Who would have thought the Eagles would have lost, though? The 49ers beat the Commanders. The Broncos beat the Chargers. And like we've already said, the Steelers beat the Seahawks. The Chiefs won the division after beating the Bengals. And the Sunday Night Football game, the Packers beat the Vikings. We had 3 games different last week, and I got 2 of them correct. So I am now 5 games behind. Will I make up 5 this week?
That's a lot to make up in 1 week.
It's gonna happen.
My good, the Arizona Cardinals. Their offense actually looked good last week against a good Eagles defense. And they came out on top, mostly because of the second half, but even in the first half, they were moving the ball. Cardinals actually looked good. My bad, the refs on Saturday night. The Lions got screwed. They should have won that game. Brad Allen, the head referee, was not paying attention. He called the wrong jersey number. I feel bad for the Lions. The refs are bad. Not the only time this year they've been bad. NFL refs need to step up. And my ugly, my Atlanta Falcons picks again. I got another one wrong. Except for the first 3 weeks, I haven't picked them right all year. Last week, I had no confidence, and so I went against my gut, which I shouldn't have done. Still came out on the wrong side of the coin. I only got 1 week left. We'll see what happens. But my ugly has been all year has been the Atlanta Falcons picks.
My good goes to the Cleveland Browns. I know it feels like it wasn't week 17, but it was week 17.
Yeah.
Thursday night game. But they demolished the Jets. They had a lot of touchdowns in just the first half. They held the Jets to no touchdowns in the second half, even though they didn't score a touchdown in the second half. It was a very good game. Joe Flacco, David Njoku, Jerome Ford carried that offense, and that defense did everything that they could. It paid off. My bad goes to the Tennessee Titans. A few weeks ago, you played the Texans like you did this week. You went to overtime with them. This time, you get destroyed, only putting up 3 points. That is not a good performance. They are my bad. And my ugly, the Carolina Panthers. They were not good in that game. You put up 30 last week. You almost upset the Packers. And then this week, you put up 0. That is not a good score, especially when you're down 26-0. They are my ugly. Now, let's get into the Week 18 picks.
The Ravens are sitting some of their starters as they have locked up first seed in the AFC and have a bye week next week as well. The Steelers are still fighting for a playoff spot, and would really help their chances if they beat the Ravens. They are going to take the game more seriously. Ravens are starting Snoop Huntley for the first time this year. I can't bet against my team 3 weeks in a row, so I'm taking the Steelers. Don't let me down, Steelers. I think you got this one wrapped up.
This is a good way to start the final week of the regular season. It should be a good one, but I am also picking the Steelers. The Ravens' backups are starting, and although they were pretty good in the preseason, they had like a 25-game winning streak in the preseason the past few years. I don't think they're going to beat the Steelers. If the Steelers have already given the Ravens starters a loss, they're not going to lose to the benched starters. This is a great game on Saturday night, and I am picking the Colts. Week 2 this season, they played each other again, and the Colts won that matchup, and that was on the road. Now the Colts are at home. Teams are a bit different now. CJ Stroud has definitely improved, but I'm still picking Indy. I think they do it.
I'm with Ayden. I think the Colts will win this one too. Texans have a laundry list of injuries, including Will Anderson. I think that'll make a difference. Colts have looked pretty good lately. I'm sticking with Gardner Minshew and Jonathan Taylor to pull out the victory. The Panthers got lit up like a Christmas tree last week, while the Bucs got beat by the Saints and are now fighting for the top spot in the NFC South. If they win, they become the number 4 seed, and I think they will destroy the Panthers. Bucs will be motivated. Panthers will not be. Their season is over. I'm taking the Bucs to win here.
The Bucs should easily win this one, and I think they do. The Panthers don't have anything to play for. Mike Evans is going to have another great game against Carolina. Bucs win. I think the Browns end up winning even though they're benching their starters. Kevin Stefanski is a great head coach, and the Browns are known for beating the Bengals. I'm picking Cleveland to win it on the road.
I'm taking Cleveland here too, even though Jeff Driscoll is the 5th Browns quarterback to start this season, which is crazy to have 5 different starting quarterbacks. The Browns are a good all-around team, including that defense. Yes, they're resting some starters. The Bengals are already out of the playoffs. They're not taking any undue risk. I'm taking the Browns to win here too. The Vikings are going back to Nick Mullins as their starting QB. They dearly miss Kirk Cousins. Lions are pretty ticked about the game on Saturday night, losing the game that they should have won. They will be focused and locked in getting ready for the playoffs. So I'm taking the Lions to win here.
The Vikings are going to try their very best, but it will not pay off. I still think the Lions win pretty easily. After the Vikings started 0-3, they almost made the playoffs, but instead, it's over. One of the few games that means nothing. Both teams aren't even close to making the playoffs, but I still think the Jets win. Zappe will not know what to do against the Jets defense, who won't be playing their best, but they'll still be playing good. 2
good defenses. Both teams are looking forward to next year, though, and both teams dearly need an offense. I think the Jets have a slightly better offense, with Trevor Siemian starting again, and a slightly better defense, so I'm taking the Jets here to win. In a packed NFC South division, this is a key game. The Saints beat the Bucs last week and are looking to beat the Falcons this week. I have to be honest, I'm not sure who to pick because every time I pick the Falcons game, it doesn't turn out. But on this one, I'm sticking with the Saints. I think they win at home. I think they make the playoffs. And if I'm wrong, well, sorry Saints, I gave you the kiss of death.
Might as well flip a coin.
Pretty much at this point, I have better odds flipping a coin.
Well, now I'm very tempted to take the Falcons, especially because I do need another game different. But I still think the Saints are going to win. I got to stick with what I think is going to win. I'm going to go with my gut on this one, and I think the Saints will win. If the Jags lose this game, they might not even win the division. That is not good. They started the season 8-3. Now they're 9-7. Trevor Lawrence is questionable for this game, but I think they win without or with Trevor Lawrence. They held a shutout to the Panthers offense last week, and the Titans offense isn't that much better than the Panthers offense. I think the Jags win. And they win the division.
I agree with Ayden. The Titans have lost 3 games in a row, only putting up 3 points last week. The Jags looked much better last week and will win with or without Lawrence and clinch the AFC South division. I'm taking the Jags here too. Seahawks can make the playoffs with a win here, and they need a Packers loss as well. Their offensive line is pretty banged up, and they're playing a Cardinals team that looked pretty good last week against the Eagles. I think that's too much to overcome, so I'm taking the Cardinals to win 2 in a row to finish the season. It could be a close game. Go Cards, go.
The Cardinals and the Seahawks are going to try their very best because the Cardinals are just trying to spoil the Seahawks' playoff chances. But the Seahawks are still trying to make the playoffs. They will have all their starters in this game. I am picking the Seahawks to win this game. I think that I might be making a comeback.
That's one game different.
Packers make it in the playoffs if they win this game, and I do think they win this game. They are known for owning the Bears even without Aaron Rodgers, and they are at home in this one at Lambeau Field. They will easily win this game even though the Bears blew out the Falcons last week.
The Bears have won 4 of their last 5 games. Unfortunately, it's too late to make the playoffs for the Bears, and the Packers are still trying to make the playoffs. Jordan Love has been hot lately. He has thrown 30 touchdowns all year, 3rd in the NFL for touchdown passes. I think he continues his hot streak. I'm taking the Packers to win probably an easy game at Lambeau Field. Chiefs are resting some of their starters for this game as they've locked up the number 3 seed in the AFC. The Chargers are also resting some of their starters, but more so because they're injured across the board. I think the Chiefs still win here. They have a great defense, even if they're starting Blaine Gabbert at quarterback. Chiefs are too good to lose to the Chargers. Chiefs win.
I agree with Tony. Andy Reid is too good of a head coach to lose to the 5-11 Chargers. Even with an interim head coach. They're winning. This could be a good game, and I think the Raiders win. Antonio Pierce is a great interim head coach. Many people think they should keep him, including players on the Raiders. The first time these two played, they played in week 1, and the Raiders squeaked out a win, and that was in Denver. Now we're in Las Vegas, and that is going to be another Raiders win.
I think the same thing as Ayden. The Raiders players want to make a statement that they want Antonio Pierce back. The Broncos are starting Stidham once again, and I don't think it'll turn out very well. I like the Raiders' chances in this game. I'm taking the Raiders. The Eagles are too good to lose this game against the Giants, even if they looked pretty shaky the last few weeks. The Giants have lost 3 in a row. Tyrod Taylor is not the answer. I think make it 4 in a row. Eagles right the ship in time for the playoffs.
The Eagles will dominate this game from start to finish. They lost horribly last week to the Cardinals, and they will not lose like that again. They are very mad, very angry. They will be very fired up, and they will take it out on the Giants. Neither team will be starting their starters in this game, so it's actually going to be a probably boring game. But I think the Rams actually win it. Carson Wentz is better than Sam Darnold, I think. Even with the system quarterback thing in San Fran. The Rams are known for beating the Niners quite a lot. I'm picking LA.
I'm taking the 49ers here. They have much more depth than the Rams. The Rams aren't playing Stafford, Kupp, or Donald. 49ers are going to play some starters, probably in a limited role. But I'm sticking with the 49ers. I think they will. The Commanders have lost 7 games in a row. Their offensive line stinks, and their defense is no good since they traded away their best players. I think the Cowboys practice squad could probably win this game blindfolded. I'm taking the Cowboys to win this game big. Really big.
The Cowboys are playing for the division here. If they win this game, they win the division. The NFC East has not had a back-to-back division champion since the Philadelphia Eagles in 2004.
Oh.
That is a very long time, 20 years to be exact. The Cowboys are also 3-5 on the road this season, and they're on the road in this game. This is a get-right game for them. But the Commanders, they're on a 7-game losing streak. They have nothing to lose. All they want in this game is to make fun of the Cowboys and just spoil their chances of winning the division. It's coming. I'm picking the Washington Commanders.
No way.
It happened last week 18, last year. I think it's happening this year. This is not a get-right game. They lose again on the road.
Wow.
No matter who the QB is, they will beat Dallas.
I'd like to apologize in advance to the Cowboys fans for Ayden's pick. Nothing against Dallas.
Not yet.
Wow.
Here we go. Cue the music. Ba 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 ba. The final game of the regular season. It should be a great one. Bills out Dolphins, Sunday Night Football. I am picking the Bills, and here is why. Not because I cheer for them, but the Bills are on a 4-game winning streak, while the Dolphins are on a 1-game losing streak, losing 56-19. The Bills got hit by injuries early in the season, but now it looks like they're one of the healthiest teams yet. And the Dolphins, they got hit by injuries last week, losing Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb on the front 7, including Xavier Howard, who will be out. So it'll just be Jalen Ramsey in this game. If the Dolphins lose, they're the 6th seed. If the Bills lose, depending on the games before, they might not even make the playoffs. So I'm picking the Bills to win the final game of the regular season. Let's go, Buffalo.
I agree with Ayden. The Dolphins have a lot of injuries. Hill, Mostert, and Waddle, all questionable for this game. Phillips, Chubb, Howard are out. That makes the defense not quite the same as it was a month ago. The Bills are hot. I think they will continue to be hot. I can't pick against them, especially when I'm wearing the shirt. So I'm taking the Bills to win here too. I think they win the AFC East and become the number 2 seed.
Yes!
Great comeback, winning 5 games to end the season for the Bills. Let's go Bills. My bold prediction for this week, I'm going back to the Packers-Bears game, which could be a close game. I think Jordan Love continues his winning ways and throws 4 touchdown passes. He may even end up the NFL leader in touchdown passes. He's got the game figured out. I think he throws 4 TDs. That's my bold prediction. What's yours?
My bold prediction, Stephon Diggs has had a very disappointing season. The last time that the Bills played the Dolphins, Diggs had 3 touchdowns. Last time Diggs played Jalen Ramsey, he burnt him multiple times. This time, I think he does it again. Over 100 receiving yards and 2 or more total touchdowns.
Nice. That's a big game.
It's a get-back-to-work game for Stephon Diggs, as he hasn't had a good game in a long time. It's time for the last question. We're heading into the playoffs next week, in fact. Which team would you not want to face in the playoffs?
Great question. Obviously, there's the 2 division leaders, the 49ers and the Ravens. I wouldn't want to face either of those because I think they have the most complete teams. But I'm taking the Detroit Lions. I think they can pull off an upset against anybody. They will take risks that no one else will. Dan Campbell has those guys playing at a high level. CJ Gardner-Johnson's coming back. I think they're setting up to pull off some upsets in the playoffs. So Detroit Lions is my pick.
All right. I'm actually going to go with the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Flacco's been hot lately, and I think that with the extra rest this week, the Browns could do something big.
Great defense, too.
Yeah.
Defense wins championships. All right, well, that wraps up our videos for regular season picks.
Next week is playoffs. It should be great games. We'll also be having a guest. Not saying who yet.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
See ya.